let's
So
stop all the talk.
let's
Let's
get
see
right
how
to
the board really falls. Starting off with the Chicago Bears.
the Chicago Bears. Yes, sir. Should do we have to spend any time on this one? Do you think?
No. We're just gonna go. Look, even average
Okay.
draft position is just a solid one, not even a 1.1. Solid
No,
one,
it's Caleb Williams
because
at
it
point guard,
is
and
Caleb.
it's going to be Caleb Williams. Let's just be honest with
But now
ourselves.
you, sir.
There's a lot of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of whispers.
Uh huh.
I'm not buying it. Jaden Daniels is not going to be a commander. This is Drake May. I think
Wow.
there is prospect fatigue. Maybe I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's people are overthinking because they've had too much time between the end of the season and the draft. But Drake May is going to be the second quarterback off the board, and he deserves to be. I think he's a better prospect than Jaden Daniels. I think.
So I would take Drake
Commanders
May at
believe
two,
this.
but I kind of am starting to buy in to Daniels at two.
That's interesting because the rumor mill is just now shifting back to Drake May rather than Jaden
Really,
Daniels.
because I saw Peter Schrager on the McAfee show saying that Friday he wouldn't have said this, but now he feels extremely like he feels a lot more confident that it will be Daniels.
I don't know. What I hear from commander circles is that it's Drake May, but there's been like when there's smoke everywhere.
Hmm.
Nobody knows for sure. Like number one is a lock, two not necessarily.
Two is a
There's
coin
two
flip.
guys. Two is a coin flip. Three is where the draft really starts
Yes, because
because
three.
New England could trade back.
Because if you
Could
had
be
Drake May available, I
Favre.
especially would have done this. But I kind of, I if I were them, I would stick and take a quarterback.
Yeah,
I like these guys. I like this the tier after May and Daniels. I think there's
yeah.
enough separation to where I wouldn't want to trade back. I would want to take whichever one's still available.
Okay.
But I kind of want to play around with the idea of New England thinking differently
Okay.
and being relatively close with those guys, and then Knicks and Penix and them being willing to trade back.
Okay.
So
You cut out.
okay. Am I back?
Oh, there you go. You're back. You're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Let me know how you're feeling about New England trading back with the Minnesota Vikings.
That I don't hate at all. I would like that a lot better if Drake May was still on the board.
Yeah, that's why when you
I
picked
don't
May,
think
I was
Jaden
like, oh,
Daniels. I don't think Jaden Daniels is their flavor. Like Kevin O'Connell has never really cared much about QB run game, and if you're not using the QB run game with Jaden Daniels, you're doing yourself a disservice. So, I mean, I don't hate it if that's what you want to do. I think you control like the Vikings have.
with the
Yeah,
Giant
rather than
here. Let's
putting
throw out another curveball with the Giants.
that, I don't hate. That I think that makes sense.
So
What are you
this,
doing?
because with the Giants, what is next year a possible out for Daniel Jones? Like a believable one where it's not like
Yeah, it's next season, I think, because it's at least 2 years on the contract. They've only done one so far. So after next, you can cut him after next year. You kind of have to roster him this year. He's just gonna soak up $40 million. Um, but the out, yeah, you can cut him next season or the next off season. So you don't even have to play Daniels right away if you don't want to. Not that you can't. It's just you don't have to.
or another one. We go back to the Vikings here, but they're not trading up for Daniels.
JJ McCarthy at 3.
Yes.
I actually have another take here, and it's not a take. I don't think this is going to happen, but I think if any of the 4 quarterbacks do fall, I actually kind of think it is going to be Daniels. And the reason I believe that is because I'm hearing like Raiders trade up rumors a lot lately.
Hmm.
Like that's been really big, and I think what happens here if the Raiders are going to trade up it could actually be if only 3 quarterbacks go in the top 6. That means Joe Alt, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Malik Neighbors are all gone by the time the Titans pick at 7. I think that
Mm.
Tennessee's going to be looking to trade back if Neighbors and Alt are both gone. And I think the Raiders could absolutely be coming up to 7. So obviously that's a little bit ahead here. But if you
Yeah.
think we could just be seeing the Giants trading up here, we'll see.
See now I'm like I'm torn on what to do because New England.
This is the most fun pick to play with, I think, in
Yeah.
the draft.
There's so many ways we could take
There.
this.
Now, I did hear today that it would have to be a king's ransom for New England to want to move back. So I don't know the likelihood. But if a team is really desperate to move up, they're going to do it.
Which
So
with quarterbacks that would cause it because
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
I I don't know before I don't know because Zach Wilson. How much does he change the Broncos' desire for a quarterback?
Not in the slightest. There was a 6th and 7th round pick swap. It doesn't.
I don't think so. But does it? Do you slightly go hey if the board falls to us instead of more feeling the need to absolutely trade up?
I suppose, but even then, Denver doesn't have the assets to trade.
Well,
First and
no, but like
foremost.
they're just a
But
team that like
um,
makes it not just like their first and third.
I also don't think Denver is eager to take a quarterback at 12 either. I don't think Nix is worth taking at 12. I don't think Penix is worth taking at 12. I think if JJ McCarthy and Jaden Daniels are gone, I don't see why. Like I wouldn't reach on Bo Nix there. I'd trade back and take him in the 20s.
Well, we don't
if
know
you
what that
want
built
that
like. For all we know, Sean Payton might not see that as a
Sean
reach.
Payton might trade up to number 1 for Bo Nix if he had the assets to do it. To be honest with you, because that's Sean. The Ben DiNucci, Jarrett Stidham, Bo Nix, Zach Wilson, and John Rice Plumlee QB room is going to be insane next year.
All right,
But
let
we're not
me
there yet, unfortunately.
let me just re-say the possible options I'm thinking about right now with
Yeah.
3 with me acting as the GM.
Yeah.
Sticking and picking, and at 3 I would take Daniels.
Okay.
Giants trading up, taking one of the 2 quarterbacks.
Mhm.
The Vikings trading up, taking one of the 2 quarterbacks. What do you feel? Just give me your opinion of what you think would be best.
I don't know how New England feels about this. I personally don't know. I would believe in Jaden Daniels to succeed a lot more in Washington than I would in New England. I don't love the fit of Daniels to New England.
I don't like anyone going to New England for the quarterback's sake.
Well, but I think like Drake May had a severe talent deficiency at UNC this year, right? So like he's at least lived with it. Jaden Daniels had a future Hall of Famer, but maybe not actually in Malik Neighbors, and then a certified first round pick, like for sure, in Brian Thomas Jr. Or more than likely. I mean, there's a world where Thomas falls, but
Yeah, we always see
almost
guys fall.
certainly, almost certainly, Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be in the first round, and Neighbors is a guaranteed top 10 pick. Like there's no, probably even top 6, but I don't think he falls past 7. So, and then not to mention, the offensive line was pretty good. Like he had a lot of help, and then his tendency to not try to avoid hits scares me for a team with bad O line play like New England. I'm that would scare me.
You know
That would
what?
scare me a lot.
I think I've made up my mind, and I think it's going to piss people off.
Oh,
I think I'm going to go with the Vikings,
okay.
King's Ransom, and they wind up taking JJ.
All right, we're gonna go Vikings 11, 23, and what else?
I think for this we can just do that.
If you want, but you want to play with like a realistic trade scenario?
Okay.
This is not enough. This
Um,
is not enough.
Let's throw in 129 to begin with.
I could even see like the round 3 next year, and then maybe we just call it a day after that.
I was looking back between those that 3 and 4.
I think it's gonna have to be the 3 because you're moving up 8 spots. Like a top 3 pick is incredibly valuable, especially with 2 quarterbacks still on the board.
Yeah.
You're asking a lot.
Okay.
Here.
Because I came in with this thinking May was going to be available at 3, and I was going to do this Vikings things, and I still want to do this with New England.
I understand. Like, and again, if May was available, this is an obvious one.
Yeah.
I feel.
Because I've heard Vikings. Because I think the rumors for Vikings specifically is that they're in on May and JJ.
And McCarthy, yes.
Yeah.
Well, and if like in this scenario, honestly, where we are right now, if we just let the board keep playing out as it is, like the Giants would just take Jaden Daniels at 6, and maybe Minnesota would want to come up at 7 or 8 for McCarthy. I don't know, but I also don't hate where you're going here. They just want to make sure they get their guy.
Well, in my mind,
guys is already gone.
Yeah, in my mind, other teams are calling as well.
Yeah.
Because 3 to 6 is a comfortable fall down for a team like New England.
The Raiders are calling for Jaden Daniels, and let's say the Raiders call the Chargers. Well, now that's incredibly unlikely because they're division.
Yeah.
But like the Chargers aren't going to say no if the Raiders mortgage their entire future for Jaden Daniels, and then the Giants could just stick.
Yeah. Especially because the Chargers have a more direct impact on where that draft pick could be than like other trades.
Okay.
Right, so
we offering this trade?
Yeah, offer trade. It's accepted.
There we go.
This is people gonna hate this, but I think it's fun. Let's go with JJ at 3.
JJ at 3. I don't think this is impossible.
No, I don't think it's impossible
New
either.
England, New England could stick and pick and take JJ for all we know.
Yeah, it's on the board. All right, but now you are on the clock, sir.
From what I've been hearing lately, I don't know how this is. Obviously, I'm not in the GM room. I don't know if this is smoke. I'm hearing the Cardinals like Neighbors more. And it wouldn't shock me if they did, because I mean the report was out over a month ago that some teams are going to prefer Neighbors. And
I've
honestly,
heard that.
I get why, and especially given Arizona's the scheme that Arizona runs, I don't think it's unrealistic that they would prefer Neighbors to Marvin Harrison Jr. And I'm just going to take Neighbors.
Really?
I don't think you're going to. I don't think there's an insane gap, which isn't saying anything bad about Marvin Harrison.
No, Malik Neighbors is great.
MHA is my wide receiver 1. I do have Neighbors and Odunze as like a 2A, 2B type of thing, and it's kind of your flavor, whatever your offense is, whatever you prefer. But I think I understand why a team might prefer Neighbors.
Okay, so we're going Neighbors at 4?
The ridiculous explosiveness in his game, especially with Kyler's arm, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Okay,
This
wow.
is a scheme that can utilize the run after catch ability. I'm taking Malik Neighbors here.
Okay,
I would not be shocked if the Cardinals actually took Neighbors over Marvin Harrison Jr.
See, that changes things up.
I don't think they would necessarily regret it if they did. Now, I also don't think they'd regret it if they took Marvin. You know what I mean? I don't think either of them are going to be bad players. But
yeah, okay.
From what I've heard, I think this is realistic, and I think they can live with it.
This is a shock that's within the realm of possibility, for sure.
Wow. And with Jaden Daniels still on the board, if the Chargers take Alt at 5, which I think they do.
Okay, this is what I wanted to get into.
Hang on, real quick. This is the one scenario where I could see Marvin Harrison Jr. falling to Tennessee. And if it did happen that way, I think it's incredibly unlikely. But I also don't think the likelihood is that much lower than Neighbors falling to 7. Because everything we hear is, the first, 4 of the first 6 picks are supposed to be quarterbacks. That's what we've been hearing for 2 months now. And if that's the case, Marvin, Neighbors, and Alt, one of them's got to be available at 7.
Yeah.
Just guaranteed. Unless there's only 3 quarterbacks taken in the top 6. So somebody's got to fall. And it could be Marv. And I don't think it's impossible. I think he's the least likely to be there. I don't think it's impossible. But go ahead, sir.
Okay. So at 5, I was going to take Alt. But with Marvin Harrison Jr. there, I just can't pass that up. I think as much as Harbaugh would probably like to strengthen the O-line, I think he's seen Marvin Harrison Jr. up close a little bit, playing against him, coaching against him, and he knows how good of a player he is.
Yeah.
He knows what the other coach's perspective is going to be on him. He knows how special he is. I think this would be the wide receiver more than any other that would make him go, all right, you know what? We are just going to take the wide receiver.
All right, so we are taking Marv.
We are taking Marv at 5. I was going to I was expecting Alt to go there today, and I was going to be like, fucking up Tennessee.
I genuinely believe, I think regardless, if Tennessee gets Marv, Neighbors, or Alt, you're going to bed happy. I know I am. I'm going to bed happy. Regardless. If 4 of the top 6 picks are quarterbacks,
what if the Giants
one
won
of those 3 is going to be in Tennessee. And then the Jaden Daniels is still on the board.
He is. I would run that in if I were them.
Take him here. Yeah, I am sprinting to the podium, and you're going to bed happy if you're a Giants fan.
Wow. All right. And then that pretty much leaves me with one real option here.
2. You've got 2. Rome's right there.
I love Rome.
I love Rome as well.
I think it really is a top 3.
I think Rome is the odd man out on the Titans big board. I do think he'd be 4th.
Yeah, I mean, I think he is the 3rd of these top 3 receivers, but to me, it's not. I'm just guessing, but I guess I'm thinking my gap between 2 and 3 is smaller than other people's.
Yeah, some people, and I'm I don't love the discourse on Rome because there's a lot of people who are weirdly just kind of low on him, at least in terms of ceiling projection. I don't understand that at all. He's a very complete receiver.
Yeah.
He is
They better be high on Penix then, because I need an explanation of what did you think was going down in Washington if neither of these guys are good?
Was it the offensive coordinator? Because if that's the case, Seattle's offense this year is about to be insane, right? You got to explain it somehow because You better think Michael Penix is a top 10 prospect if you're not that high on Rome, because that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going Alt at 7.
I would go to bed a very happy camper if Joe Alt was playing next to Peter Skoronsky.
I was dude. We're in sync, baby. I was literally just about to mention that strong left side, strong side.
Run left. Yes, sir. Now, I get to make one of my favorite picks in the draft. As our good friend Gabe said in the group chat the other day, Dallas Turner should have bought a house in Atlanta months ago. This is the second most obvious pick in the draft to me, behind Caleb Williams at 1. He's a perfect scheme fit for Raheem Morris's defense. The Falcons haven't had a dominant edge rusher since the Bronze Age. Dallas Turner at number 8 locked that.
This is something I like to look. I like to look at it. I mean, I don't like. I've mentioned this before. I respect PFF. I don't live off their grades, but pretty noticeably got better every single year.
Yeah,
that's
projection is all, or linear development is always nice to see.
Yeah. So all right, Dallas Turner.
You see that with Malik Neighbors. You see that with Marvin Harrison Jr. You see that with even with Jaden Daniels to a degree. Certainly got better after leaving Arizona State. Rome Odunze got better every year, I would say. Speaking of, I don't know if I'm the Bears personally. I'm running this shit to the podium if Rome's still there.
Me too, because I mean we've seen the love. We've seen some tweets being sent out about some love between Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. You seen these?
Yeah, well, I haven't, but I mean, both Pac-12 guys, conference that no longer exists. Sadly, RIP the Pac-12.
Just some funny tweets because they were on the same plane.
Yeah.
And then just some funny tweets sent out. But these are at the very minimum. These two guys already know each other, get along. You're gonna have your rookie wide receiver and quarterback come in together. They're gonna be at rookie training camps together. All of that. They're gonna be having more time to develop chemistry than Caleb will with the other wide receivers who are great. You cement what people have already saying, that this is going to be like the best situation a number 1 pick has ever come into. You get Rome, that's cemented. I'm taking Rome.
Yeah, I think the only way this wouldn't be Rome is if this was like Byron Murphy. I could see
yeah.
Byron Murphy. But other than maybe even Brock Bowers, but really, I think if Rome is here at 9, this is like, you don't think about this even for a second. You are sprinting to the podium with Rome's card written down, and you are very, very happy if you are Ryan Poles. So, okay. Now the Jets, this is one of the more interesting picks in the draft, because you could draft for immediate help, which is likely, or you could draft for, you could draft a tackle for the future, because you've got Tyron Smith, you've got Morgan Moses, so you've got your starters penciled in. But Tyron Smith is good to miss at least 6 games this season, but honestly, with how this is like one of the deepest tackle classes ever, I think you can afford to wait even until pick 72 to take a developmental tackle, because that is their next pick, is the 72nd pick.
Wow.
Because the Aaron Rodgers pick is their 2nd round pick. You could honestly, you could wait until 72, and I think they will. This is a tough one. Though.
Mm-hmm. Because they did a decent job of like, maybe not completely fixing, but like filling in their drastic needs to a point of where they're not forced to take a certain position with this pick.
If Rome was still here, I'm penciling that in a heartbeat as well. Yeah. Because could you imagine Aaron Rodgers with Rome Odunze
and Garrett Wilson? That would be
insane. And
the 3 games you get of Mike Williams.
Yep. Oh man, that would be the best wide receiver trio in the league for 3 weeks. But you almost kind of want to go Brock Bowers here, just as like and I think I will.
Okay. I don't hate it.
I will, just because like get another weapon for the year that you have still of Aaron Rodgers. Just get another guy in the room. Now we've got New England. Moved back. Obviously couldn't get their quarterback. Now they could. Maybe they really like Bo Nix. I doubt it.
I got a plan here. I've got if I'm New England, I think priority 1 is they don't have their quarterback right now.
Let's build around the future quarterback.
Let's go ahead and start putting together a team a quarterback can succeed in. Because if they're honest about themselves, they look at this roster and they go, "Huh? If we took a quarterback at 3, he'd probably get killed."
Yeah.
I think if I were them, I would take the best tackle on the board. Which
now, who is that to you? Because there are a lot of great tackles on the board here.
So-
and a lot of them are right tackles.
mhm.
The best left tackle available is Troy Fautanu.
Yeah.
Now,
I guess I have to ask myself, like, and I don't know because new coaching staff. I doubt it's going to be too different because it's from the same. It's like directly from the same tree.
and so is the front office as well.
Yeah, but it's just because to best pass blocker is Fashanu.
That's true.
Run blocker, Fuaga.
Fuaga.
You know, maybe you want a little more versatility with Fautanu. And this part I'm gonna ask for your input on
Okay.
about what you think New England, because I'm going with a tackle, but what do you think New England would be leaning here?
I think if the idea is you're looking to build around your quarterback of the future, whoever that's going to be, if you're looking to build around a quarterback that you could eventually plug into this roster, you take the best pass protector available and just hope he can develop as a run blocker.
Okay.
So that would be Olu Fashanu.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I'm surprised he's now like tackle 4 after being in conversation for tackle 1.
I think the reason the league is a little lower on him, his hands are small. I think that definitely hurt his stock when his hands measured at like, he's got like 9-inch hands or whatever.
That's huge.
That it does matter. It does matter for especially for offensive tackle, and then not to mention the run blocking's always been a problem. It improved, but it didn't improve as much as I think teams wanted it to. And we've got Denver here at 12 now. I do not buy that this is Bo Nix territory. I think that is ridiculous.
No.
If you're thinking about taking Bo Nix at 12, shame on you. Now, with that being said, I am looking here, and I did read a report the other day that they don't have a second round pick.
No, that's why I said trade into the second.
Oh, yeah. But I did read a report the other day that the Eagles are looking to trade up in the draft, and the trade thing does tell me Philadelphia. When you go to the trade tab, it does say Eagles.
Mine says Steelers.
Interesting.
Huh. Different AI, baby.
It says Eagles, and I like the Eagles picked 22nd. I could see Bo Nix going at 22, maybe. That's like the earliest I would ever possibly take him because I'm not a Bo Nix guy, but I know Sean Payton probably is because that's his tall white boy with the sauce. And if you're gonna stick and pick, it's probably Laiatu Latu, if not a corner of sorts, maybe Quinyon Mitchell. Who would the Eagles be coming up for in this scenario if the Eagles were coming up? That's what I would want to know. Who would they be coming up for? Would it be Quinyon Mitchell? Do you want to just be greedy and have it be Byron Murphy and just continue building the ultimate interior defensive line? Just run 12 deep on the D line. Just who's gonna stop me?
Yeah.
Like that would be fucking insane. I wouldn't even put it past Howie to do that, to be honest with you. But I might just stick and pick here and take Latu.
I mean,
even me personally, I wouldn't want to take Bo Nix at 22.
I think that team needs talent. The Broncos.
Yeah, the Broncos should also just draft a good fucking player, and that's what Laiatu Latu is.
I agree.
So let's go with Laiatu Latu. I'm not gonna overthink this one.
I think if there was no medical concerns, he'd be gone by now. So
yeah, probably.
I would say fuck it.
What I've heard is that most NFL teams have greenlit the medical concerns. Their doctors aren't super worried about it. At least what I read the other day, what my friend showed me yesterday, that he's gotten good news. His camp has gotten good news as far as the way teams are concerned about his medicals. So I don't see him falling too far. I could see him falling into the 20s, but I don't think he's like falling out of the first round because of the next stuff. Like Jalen Phillips, a very similar situation, was forced to medically retire, still got taken in the 20s, and you could argue his medicals were a lot worse. I'm not a doctor, but it sure sounded like Jalen Phillips had much because he had like concussion issues.
Right.
Like he was going to get brain damage if he got another one type shit,
and
he was still taken in the first round. So, whereas Latu's got more of like a Leighton Vander Esch type thing going on.
Who just retired. Okay, so I don't think I think at 13, I'm not gonna have the Raiders reach on a quarterback.
Hell no.
So I'm not even. I'm not sure what their next position of need is.
This could be a corner. There's plenty of good corners still on the board. This could be Byron Murphy. This could be
I
Tally
would have
Fuaga.
easily, and I still could.
But the Christian Wilkins signing
Yeah.
definitely makes this a little less likely. But they've got Fuaga still on the board.
Hmm.
This could be, again, corners a big need. This could be where Quinyon Mitchell goes. This could be Terrion Arnold. This could be let's see.
I think I'm gonna. I think I'll go. I think I'll go Fuaga
Okay.
because I'm thinking about like Kansas City doesn't really have wide receivers that you feel the need to like take a corner here for.
Chargers definitely don't have.
Chargers don't, and they.
take corner for it. The Broncos.
I
just
mean,
traded
they did take Marvin Harrison Jr.
I suppose, but
But-
it is just him.
Yeah.
And then,
Um,
of course, Denver just traded away Jerry Jeudy. We don't know
yeah.
what they're gonna
So
do.
I'm gonna go. I'll go Fuaga here just because.
Yeah.
Those corners maybe are more value, but I think they don't need them right now.
All right, Tally Fuaga it is.
Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with a good offensive lineman.
New Orleans at 14. If Shawnee was still here, we'd
They're
run that to
pissed.
the podium. That's what we did. They are pissed.
They don't like how this
However,
board's been falling as much.
You get a cute little consolation prize here. Byron Murphy's still on the board,
He is.
and you put him next to Brian Bresee. I think you're very happy with your interior for the next 8 years. So we're gonna go Byron Murphy. I was very heavily considering Troy Fautanu there because that'd be a great consolation prize at tackle as well if Fashanu gone. Even most teams in the NFL are gonna have Fautanu probably a little higher on their board, maybe even than Fashanu, or Fashanu I think is actually outside. I
Yeah.
don't know, but. I don't know. I like Byron Murphy at somebody. He's not going to be like the lowest he falls. I feel is like the 18th pick, and if he's for whatever reason not taken at 18 by Cincinnati, he's guaranteed going at 19 to the Rams. So I don't know. That's where I'm at.
All right. I think the corner fall because I don't think we've had one go yet. Stops here.
It's got to stop now. Yeah.
It stops here. It's gonna be. I think I would have the Colts take Quinyon.
And I think Colts fans would be very happy if Quinyon Mitchell made it to 15, because there were quite a few candidates to take him before this.
That's because they could use the boy.
The Seahawks here at 16.
Mm-hmm.
I think I made this pick last time, or at least I tried convincing you to make this pick last time. I don't remember if you actually did it. This one is starting to feel like chalk, at least with what I've seen from a lot of people. I'm gonna go with Graham Barton. He's probably
This high?
going to play on the interior. I was thinking about trading back because I saw Cincinnati was wanting to come up. I don't know who they'd be moving up for though. Like if Byron Murphy was still on the board, I could see the Bengals trading up for him, but I don't know. who exactly
Jerzon,
they'd
they
be
might.
looking
Maybe
for.
they're. I don't know.
Johnny Newton might not even go in the first round, from what I'm hearing. He could even fall out. I
Whoa.
don't think he should. I think he's a plenty good enough player to be taken at this high, but I don't think he's going to be taken. This
Okay,
high.
but we're
I
going
think the
Graham.
league is lower on him than the. Yeah,
Sorry.
I went Graham. I went
Okay.
Graham Barton already. Jacksonville. This seems to me like another obvious corner pick.
It does. Let's go. I love the white truth, but I don't know where everyone else stands on him, so I'm gonna go Terrion Arnold.
I hope he lasts to a certain pick because there's a place I want to take him at where I think he'd be a really great fit.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I think Terrion Arnold to Jacksonville, if he's here, makes a lot of sense. Got Cincinnati. And I gotta tell you, yeah, Johnny Newton will make a lot of sense here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it sucks seeing Fautanu still on the board here, but every time I do mock drafts, I have no idea where to take him high because I feel like he should go higher because he's a good enough player,
Right.
but I don't know who'd prefer him to, whoever else. And to me, this is J.C. Latham, and I think it's with Trent Brown being on the team, you could play Latham at guard year one, and I hope they do, and I hope he's so good at guard they don't even think about moving him to tackle because I genuinely do believe Latham will fail at tackle in the NFL. I don't want him to. Like I would never root for a guy to fail if I was lower on a guy. I would never feel good about somebody not being, not being successful. But I just don't think he has the foot speed. I don't think he has the movement skills to succeed at tackle in the NFL. I think he'd be a very good guard, and I sure hope that's where they put him year one. If they take him, I'm going to go JC Latham.
All right, JC.
This is a fun one. There's a lot you could do here.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It's the first time they've picked this high in 8 years, so
It is.
Rams fans are probably jumping for joy at the chance of being able to take a high caliber player for the first time since the Stone Age.
So, I could take Newton, which would make sense.
Troy Fautanu.
I'm kind of thinking him.
Could even take Jared Verse to put him next to Byron Young on the edge. Wouldn't hate that.
I think that team, older quarterback, you probably want to keep him upright. Really talented lineman has fallen to you.
I think that's fair.
I think I'm going to go with Fautanu on this one.
I think I like that a lot.
Yeah, just because, if Stafford's healthy, that team is a threat. If he's not, they're not.
Yeah. Steelers. I am hearing a ton of buzz around wide receiver. And Brian Thomas Jr. is still on the board.
Correct.
And I think you got Russell Wilson. You kind of want to make sure he succeeds.
Got Justin Fields.
Don't hold your breath. I said, don't do that. Stop.
Justin Fields.
Stop. I am going to go with Brian Thomas Jr.
All right.
Steelers, and I think Steelers fans would be very happy. I've seen some Steelers fans get really upset at the idea of them taking an offensive lineman. I also think you need to keep Russell Wilson upright, but that's just me. I could see corner there. If Taron Arnold was still on the board, I would love that. Like I think that's the pick we made last time because you said that would be the most Steelers pick in that situation. Just now having two press man corners on the outside, just punching your wide receiver in the face pre-snap every play, or just within 5 yards. But sir, you have the pick. Miami. What are we doing?
Now, you know what would be funny, and I'm not going to do this, is if they saw Xavier Worthy's 40s time and just went, oh, he fits our team exactly.
Yeah.
But I think I'm leaning...
If Fautanu was still here, I'd like that a lot, but he's not. So that's stinky. It's a little stinky.
They could just go. Let's see. Let me really get a.
Johnny Newton to replace Christian Wilkins.
That's what I'm leaning.
Could be the case here.
I don't know. I don't think they need to overreact because they got super injured on the edge.
Yeah.
I don't think they.
That's true.
Because
true. Chubbs and Phillips both.
Yeah. So I wouldn't. So I'm gonna go Newton. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go Johnny Boy. 21.
I think that's a good spot for him. I like that a lot. This right here, Cooper DeJean, lock it in. This makes so much sense to me. This is like Vic Fangio's dream. This is. I know you'll hate to see it. But
I don't want the last white hope to go to Philly.
This is like. This just makes so much sense, man. It's unavoidable. Like.
You don't think they're a Nate Wiggins or Kool-Aid type of team?
I think Cooper DeJean is the perfect scheme fit for them because you can do so much with him. You can play him in the slot this year while you still have Bradbury and Slay. You can play him on the outside in the future. You can play him at safety in the future. He's a great fit for Vic Fangio's defense. I think Fangio's going to be pounding the table for Cooper DeJean if they stick a pick at 22 and he's there.
All right.
I think the way the board has fallen, I don't think any player makes more sense than Cooper DeJean. So I'm going to go Cooper.
Fine.
New England. Who did we take at 11? Fashanu or Fashanu?
Yes. So, now, who do you think the best wide receiver available is?
Probably Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah.
But for damn sure, ain't Troy Franklin. Let me tell you something. um, guarantee was not Troy Franklin. Um, Adonai Mitchell's probably the best wide receiver still available, and
Could New England
this could be a
take
Jared
Lad
Verse
McConkey a little early?
I would if they New England's gonna want a separator. I would really like Lad McConkey to New England, even if it feels a little early. Let's look at who wants to trade. Arizona wants to come
On
up.
mine,
I
it's
don't
the
think there's
Lions
any-
at 29.
Okay, Arizona at 27 as well shows up for me. I don't think there'd be any competition to take Lad McConkey between 24 and 26. So,
Or 20, you mean 27?
well, New England would have 27 in that scenario.
Oh yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
But between 24 and 26, I don't think there's any competition.
So who would the Cardinals come up for? Would they just be coming up for Verse?
That's what I'm.
Like if they do they like him and they say, hey, that's a talented
or
guy we can get on
maybe
our
coming up for
defense?
Jackson Powers Johnson to try and jump Dallas.
I could see that.
In fact, I think that's where my head's at. If that's
Do you trade up for a center though?
You do if he's as good as Jackson Powers Johnson.
Okay.
This is up to you. You control 27 and 23, so this is entirely up to you.
I can't. I know how I feel about the center position, but it just feels like the rest of the actual NFL wouldn't value it enough to trade up for it.
That's fair.
So, you know what? Let's just reach on Lad.
Okay.
Let's reach on Lad.
I don't even think it's that big of a reach.
I don't know.
You need a separator that badly. Go ahead and take him.
Yeah.
We took Troy Fautanu last time for Dallas. I remember.
Yeah,
Because
he had a crazy fall.
If you don't take Troy here, I'm gonna shoot you.
Yeah, he had a crazy
Because
fall.
it's just because between like you just kind of figure out the left side of your offensive line if you take Troy Fautanu if you're Dallas. Now, obviously, he's not here anymore. But
As a Cowboys fan, I'll just tell you, I think this needs to be an offensive lineman.
I'm definitely leaning Jackson Powers Johnson since Arizona didn't come up, and I think if Arizona had come up to 23 for Jackson Powers Johnson, I think Dallas would be pissed because I don't know who else the pick would be. Maybe it'd be a Marius Mims. Maybe. In fact, I don't know. I kind of wish Mims was going higher, but also I wouldn't mind him going to Green Bay in the next pick. So, they do love their Georgia guys. Green Bay. So they do love the matching G's. It's a thing there. That's why they took Devontae Wyatt.
I kind of think tackle's a bigger need for the Cowboys than center.
Yeah, and I mean, I
just because you have two
Mims
All-Pros playing guard right now, the big
Mims
question
is
marks
the
are on the
last-
tackle.
Mims is like the last great tackle on the board. Okay, we'll go Mims here. I think.
All
I
right,
think I'll go Mims.
Mims, and then it lets you keep your All-Pro level left guard at left guard.
Not necessarily. Mims is a right tackle, so you
Oh.
move him over and hope he succeeds.
Well, I would assume, fuck it, big boy, go try left.
I wouldn't mind it.
I don't love switching guys on the line when they come out of college, but I also don't hate it.
Granted, he's inexperienced, so it's not like he's hard set committed at right tackle because he only has 500 something snaps in his college career. So
Quick breaking news: Tyrese Maxey wins NBA Most Improved Player.
Oh, nice, good for him. That's deserved.
I guess. I mean, I preferred Kobe White to win the award.
Fair enough.
I'll just quick side note because to me, I don't know if Maxey improved or he just got a bigger role. To me, Kobe White genuinely improved.
That's fair.
But anyways, we're here for NFL draft.
Yes, sir.
And we're on.
25. We got Green Bay.
I don't know. I don't know because Packers they always. I don't know. I never know how they're gonna draft.
They're an interesting one. I think Mims would be a pretty easy one to run in if he was still on the board.
Mm-hmm.
But if he's not, I just don't know. There's no safety good enough to take here. And I don't think they need edge help necessarily. They have Rashawn Gary. They just drafted Lucas Van Ness last year. Like, would they take Jared Verse?
I mean, they because it's
Why?
such a valuable position and it's one you can rotate in. That if you're like, we don't love anyone here, this is the best player in our on
If
our
you absolutely,
if their board
oh,
was this PFF board.
this could be Jackson Powers Johnson.
Really?
I think it could be. I don't think they're in love with Josh Myers. I know it's a contract year for him, and he's just not been very good. I still can't believe he got taken over Creed Humphrey. That should have been like Brian Gutekunst should have been executed on the spot when Josh Myers got drafted over Creed Humphrey. But it's a contract year for him. He's not been very good. I think they could just take Jackson Powers Johnson.
I think I might have them reach on a safety. I feel like we usually see like a one like genuine reach.
We just saw Ladd McConkey go at 23.
Is that how genuine of a reach is that? That white boy got some sauce.
It's not a huge reach, but I mean, also the problem with reaching on a safety is that there is zero consensus on the safeties whatsoever. Like everybody's draft board in terms of safeties is all over the place. Like Tyler Nubin is the first on the PFF board. Some people are gonna have Nubin as like safety 6. You know what I mean? Like it is. I've never seen more variance for any position group than I have with safety this year. Like I saw somebody put Kalen Bullock as a safety 2, and I saw 2 other guys the same day with Bullock outside of their top 10. Like nobody knows where these safeties are gonna fall. And like some guys you can kind of tell are probably gonna go earlier, like day 2-ish. Like Nubin, Bullard, and Hicks are probably gonna go day 2, but like Adrian Taylor Demison, his stock is all over the place. Tyke Smith could go a lot higher than he's projected.
I mean, do you know how we make this draft feel realistic?
You take Tyler Nubin.
You take a player that you're like, what? Because there's always I'm going. Let's go Nubin.
All right, fuck it. I don't hate this. I like you explained it in a good way. I don't hate this. Now, if you're the Bucks and Jackson Powers Johnson makes it to 26, you're not thinking twice about this. You are running this home. You are taking him. And Arizona, who desperately tried trading up twice for me in a couple of my spots here, is not gonna be able to take it. So now Arizona's a weird team to pick for.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, there's a need at corner, and Nate Wiggins is on the board, and so is Kool-Aid McKinstry. So I don't know.
No verse?
You could take Verse here if you wanted to. Granted, again, I personally don't think he's going round 1. I think he's going to be one of those weird falls. There's some every year. You gotta have him somewhere. I
think this is already a fall for him.
I think he's falling out of round 1. I don't think Verse going in the 20s is ridiculous. I think he's projected to go in the 20s.
Maybe, probably at this point now.
Yeah, his ADP is 20.1.
Yeah, I guess I'm used to seeing him go higher.
The problem is there's just not enough teams with an immediate need at edge, and there's too many edge rushers that other people like Chop Robinson could easily go round 1. Marshawn Nealon could easily go round 1. Like,
you know what? I think defensive-minded head coach. I'm gonna have the Cardinals taking Jared Verse.
All right.
Just getting, I think, I don't
extra help off the edge.
Give him some edge.
The Buffalo Bills.
The Bills.
Ladd McConkey's gone. Brian Thomas Jr. is gone. I am not drafting no damn Troy Franklin. Adonai Mitchell, get ready to learn table, buddy.
Learn table.
Yep.
Get ready to eat wings, buddy.
Yeah. Get ready to learn buffalo wings, partner. You are a Bill.
Yep.
Certified.
Now, I think the Lions are pretty happy about Nate and Kool-Aid falling to him.
I think Kool-Aid is like damn near a guarantee if he's here at this point.
Yeah? You think he fits?
Yeah, Kool-Aid's a fantastic fit for its defense, I think. He's and you get to reunite him with Brian Branch.
Okay, that sounds good to me. I'll take it in Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Baltimore. We've got a need at tackle. We've got a need really at both tackle spots at this point because you're worried about Ronnie Stanley's health, and Morgan Moses is gone. Got traded for peanuts for some reason. And you've got a need at corner still. This could be Nate Wiggins. really, this is like I'm just gonna say now. Baltimore's probably the easiest pick for like team that's gonna finish with a worse record than they did the previous year, and I still think they're a playoff team.
Hmm.
But you lost so many great coaches, you lost so many great players. This is just a tough team to like realistically project to win 14 games again or 13, whatever they won last year. Like, I just don't know how they do it. I don't think they will do it. They could win 10 or 11, 12 on a good day, but they've got a lot of holes to fill. And I don't take corner often for Baltimore. I usually go Jordan Morgan or some shit here. I'm gonna say Nate Wiggins. He's on the board still. They need a corner. You like the potential of Nate Wiggins. I'm gonna go Nate Wiggins.
All right. All right. Now, there's a team in mind that I want to trade back up into the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Could you see, or like, what do you think would make sense for either, like the way this board is falling?
Yeah.
Could you see either the Niners or the Chiefs trading into the very top of the second round, just trading back into the very top of the second?
Yeah, based on the needs available for both teams, like all the top corners are gone. Like Nate Wiggins was still here. San Francisco probably would have stuck a pick. But if you're looking at tackle, you've got Jordan Morgan on the board. You've got Tyler Guyton on the board. You've got Patrick Paul on the board. You can afford to wait at tackle if you're San Francisco. You don't have to take one right this moment. You'd be reaching on one, quite frankly, if you took one right now. I can see San Francisco absolutely trading back in this spot.
Okay.
I have a pick in mind for Kansas City. I know who I'm taking.
Then I'm going to have the Niners trade back.
With Hoopst.
And let me paint you a little picture here. Because they're going to be trading back with a team that just brought in some pieces to help a quarterback. And this team is going to value this fifth-year option.
Oh.
So that's why they're trading back into the first instead of just waiting. Because this player might still be available when they pick. But I'm going to have the Patriots with 3 first-round picks this year trading back into the first. They'll have 3 after this trade.
What are they giving up?
So 34, 31. That's a 3-spot move. I don't think it takes too much.
It doesn't take anything ridiculous, but again, like you said, the fifth-year option creates a second element here of like it drives up the value bit. You're not just moving up 3 spots; you're altering the contract structure as well. So, I think you have to give up 68.
You think 68?
I think 68 realistically because the way the contract is altering.
How about we do 103?
68 and like 68 and 124.
How about I was 124?
Yeah, let San Francisco trade 124 as well.
Oh. Okay. I don't know. I think they would want to keep 68.
Then I don't know, 103 straight up it would have to be.
Yeah. I mean, the details I don't care too much about predicting.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to force this trade.
Okay.
And they're in. Now the question is,
who'd they come up
would it be
for?
Knicks or would it be Penix?
Who's New England gonna prefer?
I'm just gonna go with Knicks.
Okay.
I'm not too sure. We'll see. But it's more the idea of, hey, they spent these other first 2 picks getting guys, then they come back up, get another one, get their quarterback. So I'm just gonna go Knicks, but this in my mind could really be either Knicks or Penix, but we're gonna go Knicks here.
Kansas City. I have a take.
All right.
I have a take. This man is 6'7".
Whoa.
315 pounds.
Yeesh.
36 and a quarter inch arms. Give me Patrick Paul out of Houston. I told you this is a take of mine. I think Patrick Paul could sneak into round 1. At the very least, he's going early round 2. Patrick Paul's agent, I think, has told Patrick Paul that some teams are looking at him round 1. Patrick Paul himself has said he might be going round 1. Why are you looking at D-line edge? Oh, there we go.
I didn't know what the fuck Patrick Paul was.
Tackle.
Oh, okay.
Tackle. Yeah. I'm taking Patrick Paul.
Damn.
And I hope this doesn't actually happen because if the Titans, for whatever reason, don't end up with Joe Alt at 7, I am sprinting to the podium with Patrick Paul at pick 38. I think Bill Callahan would do wonders with this man. But anywho, Kansas City needs a left tackle, and I think they love the traits in Patrick Paul, and they're going to look to develop him, and I think they'll be happy.
Wow.
Yep. So this is it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the board. This is the draft. Man, all right, let me go ahead and winners. Team that I love. Obviously, I liked what the Patriots did.
Yep.
I get the you can see an idea, and I respect that. Chargers being able to get Marvin Harrison and Justin Herbert together. That's huge.
I think Chicago, Caleb and Odunze.
Love that.
Sign me up. Like, run that to the podium. Cardinals getting Jared Verse all the way down at 27, and then getting your pick at wide receiver, whoever that may be, at 4. I think you're happy with it for Arizona.
I think they'd be getting some fan backlash just for passing on Marvin, even though
They would have gotten fan backlash for passing on Malik too. He's a better fit for their scheme, and some people, I know plenty of people who have Malik over Marvin on their board.
I think the fan lash would be significantly bigger for passing on the guy that's been talked about for as long as he has.
I think that's fair, but I wouldn't say they're not winners in this situation. Like you get to take your bit. Like if you're the front office, you feel like you won because you got Verse to fall at 27, and you got to take your pick at wide receiver.
There is something to when you see a team like quote unquote reach on a play where you're like, you know what, that team has their own board.
Mm-hmm.
They like that player. They took that player. That's a good sign on like they really think that this player fits them, which is a big deal for these for players where they go.
Yeah.
Because if you're just like, oh, this is the top guy on the board, I guess this is value. I guess we'll find a way to make him
Best
fit.
player available, sometimes it's worth if it's like that big of a fall. But like, sometimes you just gotta take the guy that fits your roster the best, fits your scheme the best, fits your culture the best. Like that's another thing is like we are not in the rooms with these players. We do not know how they interview. We don't know how they mesh with the staff and whatnot at the combine or during the top 30 visits. These staffs know these players on a personal level to some degree. They know what kind of person they want in their building, and
I know what kind of man you are.
so, this to me like I get what you're saying. And like sometimes it does prove to be that way. Like when the Raiders took Cleveland Farrell 4th overall. Granted, that was a Mike Mayock draft pick, and Mike Mayock should have never been hired as a GM to begin with. That was fucking stupid.
There's also a thing of like
don't take a TV analyst and turn him into a general manager.
there's also the part of like playing the board as well and playing the game. It's like this is my favorite guy, but it's everything points to this being a reach. What that means is maybe I could trade down, still get my guy and other stuff.
Yeah. That's like you've seen that happen before. Like you see every year you see at least one team in the first round trade down and still get the guy you think they probably target for the most part. And I don't think we had that necessarily in here. But like for example, if I had the Seahawks trading back from 16.
Well,
like,
I could imagine the
possible.
Patriots
Very possible.
with Fashanu. If
I
they're
don't
like
think they would take him 3rd overall.
Well, no, it's just a matter of like, is that our guy?
Yeah.
Like he's the best. If they agree that he's the best pass blocker in the draft, and they go, that's valuable.
Really want that. Yeah. I guess I see what you're saying there.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's the draft. Let's